let's go into Galaxy of Terror, 1981. Summary for this film: science fiction suspense thriller in which a rescue spaceship crew meets up with the horrors projected by their own imaginations. Directed by Bruce D. Clark and written by Bruce D. Clark and Mark Sigler. Do you have you don't have information, Jason? I'm not going to ask.
I have nothing.
But you can, if you can find this thing, it's got some really cool cover art that doesn't really necessarily reflect what happens in the movie, which is
I have a copy of that signed by Sid Haig.
Oh, do you?
That's awesome. Cool.
I've had this on Blu-ray for a while, and I never got around to watching it.
Yeah.
And it was a blind buy. So
you have it on Blu-ray? Nice.
Yeah.
I think what I watched was a Blu-ray transfer. I watched it on Tubi, and it was sharp as fuck. It was really nice
for sure.
looking.
That's where I watched it.
It looked great. Yeah, but this movie, I enjoyed this quite a bit, and I'd never seen it before. This is on a list of like the 1,000 worst movies or something, which blows my mind because, in my opinion, I'm not huge on science fiction, but this is better than any Star Trek I've seen. It's better than Dune. It's better than so much shit that everybody, like, anything that's black and white in science fiction, this is better than that, in my opinion. That's just me as a person who doesn't enjoy the genre that much. The cast is full of highlights. Erin Moran as Luma. She plays Joni on Happy Days and Joni Loves Chachi. She died not too long ago. Drug related situation. Edward Albert as Cabrin, who is the son of Eddie Albert from Green Acres, if you're familiar with that show at all. He's the star of that. The always great Ray Walston as Core. I know him from the Popeye movie. He plays Poop Deck Pappy on that. Popeye's
my favorite Martian.
Father. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I know him, too.
Yeah, he's on a ton of stuff, though.
Reruns of that. And Mr. Hand.
Yeah, that's true.
Aloha, Mr. Hand.
And he plays Mr. Hand on the TV show of that. Have you ever seen that TV show? Fast Times, the TV show?
Not sure.
How long ago was that?
I mean, it was in the 80s.
No,
80s? That was the 80s? No, that is a
Yeah.
no then. That's a negative.
Short-lived. It was really good, though.
I bet.
I know the TV show that was based off of Fast Times on Ridgemont High.
Huh?
Are you talking
I
about
don't even know what movie we're talking
about. It was the show called Fast Times or something like that. I think it was just called Fast Times. Yeah, you got Robert Englund as Ranger.
Yeah.
Sid Haig as Kuhad. Is that how you say that?
And what a waste, right?
I loved it. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I loved it, because he had a lot of lines. Or the original script had it.
What was this thing that they would do?
Kuhad, I believe, is how his name is.
That was he had a ton of lines in the original script, and he went up to Roger Corman and was like, I don't think the character would say this stuff. So most of his lines were removed. I loved him. I thought he was a badass. I liked his weapon. The way he died was awesome. Didn't make sense, but I mean, not a lot of stuff makes sense in this.
No, not at all.
Couple fun facts. Bill Paxton was the set dresser on this movie.
Nice.
And James Cameron was the art director. So that kind of adds to why it looks so good, I think. The original cut of this film was rated X and has been rumored to be destroyed. Evidently, they had to cut out a large chunk of that, the worm rape scene. Is that what they call that? Is that what
that's what I called it.
But the stuff they cut out made it not a rape scene, because they cut out like her enjoying it and stuff. Like they made it like a little sexy, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I liked everything about this, really. The cheesy opening title card it took me back to like a really nostalgic place in time. I mean, the sound effects, the lasers, all that stuff. I was having fun right off the bat. I like the weird alien technology they're using. And there's like, the first thing you see is a guy with a glowing amorphous head. That's just, I mean, that's fun. I don't know if it was because I didn't expect much, because I was really expecting this to be a lot like Creepazoids that we previously watched on the show, and I did not enjoy. I think I gave that a 3. just based on similar cover art, similar sort of movie. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of stuff about this. I think they gave Erin Moran special mystical powers just to give her something else to do or something. I don't understand why she had these. I can sense things. I don't sense fuck that shit off. You don't need that. That's pointless. It didn't add to anything. Yeah. What I don't know what makes this a bad movie. If you guys think it's a bad movie, you can tell me what. I think the effects are on point. It's a good throwback. I don't know. At this time, if you compare it to like Alien, which is what this was supposed to be like a Corman Alien,
a B movie version, yeah.
Of course, it doesn't stand up to Alien. I mean, for God's sakes, it's
right.
Special effects wise, it's just leaps and bounds in difference. But I mean, for two reasons, I think you should give this movie a chance. It's Roger Corman produced it, and most of his stuff is fun, even if it's not great. It's fun.
Yeah.
And this is way, like I said, it's way better than most. It's way better than most of the old black and white stuff that people hold in such high regard. I think, like I said, Sid Haig's great. The worm scene is very erotic. But this movie does have one of the dumbest exchanges that I think has ever been put into a script. The Erin Moran's character says, "Aren't you afraid?" And her boyfriend or whatever goes, "I'm too scared to be." I was like, "Fuck you, fuck you." You put that in the movie? I'm too afraid to be. I'm too scared to be. Are you afraid? I'm too scared to be. And then he kisses her. Fuck you.
Oh my God.
But I think this is good. I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's almost like you heard all the notes that I took.
Yeah,
80% of what you said spot on. I'm the same way. I don't. Sci-fi isn't really a big genre of mine, but I enjoyed the crap out of this. I was into the story. I liked the characters. It was a great cast.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not a ton of I can't remember if there was, but it didn't seem like there was a ton of creatures. But what was there, like those things that is coming out, and
yeah,
those look cool. So what was there looked good. It was fun. I had a blast with it. This movie, the first time I paused it, I had to get up and go to the bathroom. All right, and I was expecting it to see like I was 20 minutes into it, and I was almost 45 minutes in. So, and I think it's a short run time to begin with, ain't it?
Yeah.
But,
it's under an hour and a half.
Like, I don't know if it was just because I was into it or what, but I was into the story, and it's an easy watch. It's fun.
It's got good pacing to it. It doesn't
it has to.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I give it an 8 as well.
All right, John.
All right. So I saw this for the first time not very long ago, like within the last 5 years as well. But I couldn't remember. I get it and Forbidden World confused.
That sounds too.
Similar artwork.
Yes, very similar artwork. So once it got rolling, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I remember Sid Haig and all that kind of stuff. And it's a cheesy, fun B movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a knockoff Alien Star Wars. It's a Corman, it's fine. It's a fine movie. I don't know. It's not one of those ones. I feel like if I grew up on it, I'd probably like it more. But this is one of those ones I never really saw. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It was short. I like Robert Englund outside of a Freddy role. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he was good.
He's a really good actor. And he was pretty good in this too. Like, I like
this must have been right around. He was on V. Is that the series he was on?
Yeah.
Yeah, this must have been right around that time because he looks very similar to that. Like,
oh yeah.
Lily the Alien.
John, do you say you get this mixed up with Forbidden World?
I believe that's the one I'm thinking.
Flick, except for that rubber monster, but it's forgivable because of the time period.
Right. Yeah, no, totally.
Well, I just I just double checked. I don't have this on Blu-ray. It's Forbidden World that I have on Blu-ray. No, I swear to God, because I had a big stack of movies here on my table, and my wife went and stuck them all down in the one empty shelf that I have. But it's all the way down at the bottom. It's hard to get to. I was like, I have this movie, but I ain't even gonna go dig that out. So I started streaming this, thinking I didn't have the movie to begin with, so I had been pissed. I've been throwing shit around. I had that. You had to come mess with my stuff. Now I can't find the movie. I got to fight over it. But I just checked. No, it's Forbidden World that I have, which I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, that it is the artwork that gets me confused. But it's a fun cheesy 80s, right? 81 or 84. What year was this?
This was 81. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 81. Okay. It's a Corman, so you're gonna get low budget, but it's gonna be a fun adventure.
It's good.
I liked besides Robert Englund and Sid Haig, Grace Zabriskie from Twin Peaks and many other
I was wondering what she was from because she looked familiar.
Oh, she's been in so much. She's really cool. But I it was okay. I gave it was a fun time, but just like I could give or take. I gave it a 6.
Right on, Rob. It's your pick. What do you give it?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite films. I mean, everything. It's like everything in it for me was perfect. The special effects. I mean, the monsters were all cool. The death scenes, every last one of them were gruesome and brutal. And the day before I saw this movie, I had cleaned out the garbage cans and when I was a kid, and it's like there were all these maggots in the garbage lid, so they smelled and they were all slimy and gross. And so when I saw that maggot rape scene, the only thing I could think of was how those maggots smelled in the garbage can and how bad that giant maggot must smell. And I just about puked during that scene as a kid. Man. And then, but yeah, I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. I would give it like a 10 because I don't see anything wrong with it. Everything was just flawless with it for me.
I probably would have gave it a 10 if I was more into science fiction. But yeah. The funny thing about Erin Moran's death in that movie is she was supposed to do like a nude scene. It was in her contract, and she decided she didn't want to. So they went ahead and said, "Well, we're just going to kill you a little bit. Like it's going to be pretty gross." Like they did. That's why her scene is so like intense.
Yeah, I heard she is the one that actually suggested that. She's like, "Listen," because I saw this on something. It might have been IMDb. She's like, "Listen. I'm not giving you nip. Like make my shit brutal as you want. Have at it.
Sacred nip.
Yeah.
little
You're not getting nip.
Not from
that had to be one of the best death scenes in a movie ever.
Oh, it's pretty good. Although I bet if you slow that down, it's it's got some laughable things. I bet.
Awesome.
But it's edited just right.
Yeah.